Yo, what's up, everyone? Luis Fausto here again with a new concept that I wanted to try out. To get straight into it, I tweeted the other day, content idea, run polls, and then record yourself with your input. Ask questions that allows people to engage, share what others say, record yourself with your opinion, 5 to 8 minutes. But I have a good suggestion in the comments from a good friend. And I pretty much said this will build trust as your with your users. This will build trust as with, obviously a typo, but with your viewers as you're able to publicly share opinions about different topics via video. So obviously showcasing face usually builds a little bit more trust, whether this opinion aligns with yours or not. So that said, I had a great suggestion right here by my friend Immigrant Daughter Antares. I love running polls. I think 5 to 8 minutes speaking on one poll is too long. I would do a segment called Hot Minute. You run the poll, then give a hot minute take on the subject. Quick, engaging, fire. So that being said, welcome to Hot Minute. It'll probably be a little bit more than a minute, but the point is to get right to the point. The poll that I'm gonna talk about today is I asked, is trust your gut good advice? And in 8 hours, I was able to get 61 votes. As you can tell, a whopping people went crazy. And the results we see here is 88.5% said yes, 11.5% said no. Now, I'm not so much of a binary person, but with polls, I like to just keep it yes or no. I don't add depends because I want people to actually tell me in the comments whether it's a yes, no, and if I put it depends, they might just choose it and not comment. So that's just a little experiment I'm doing. I don't know if it's actually working, but regardless, I got some people to comment down here. Countless times did I challenge my gut and went the other way. Most times that was wrong. That was from Mello. Elmer Morales, a good friend. He's like, in the last 2 to 3 months, I've shifted to making most decisions based on my gut. It's usually spot on. Bren says somehow it always works out for me. Roxana, depends on the gut. This was a little funny when I laughed at it. Jorge says always. And I followed up with the question because I wanted to see his insight because I really value his insight. He said, once you have lived a little, gone through some stuff, the more experience you gain and the more you learn, you develop a certain feeling. And I think our body talks to us in a funny ways. I believe that certain feeling is reflected in your gut. Helder said, yes, it is. It's a neutral advice. Depending on the tone it is said, whether it works or it doesn't work out, it's a win-win for both. And then, that's been pretty much a conversation in the comments. But I wanted to give my input. So, trust your gut, good advice. I'm going to be on the fence on this one because I think advice is relative. So, ever since I heard this one for the first time, obviously it's a common one, I didn't have the same self-awareness that I have today. And I think self-awareness is a precursor or a prerequisite to trusting your gut. And the reason I say this is because sometimes trusting your gut can be from a judgmental place. We don't do certain things with certain people because our gut tells us not to, right? And sometimes if we don't have the self-awareness to kind of dissect that, we might just be we might be losing on opportunities in various occasions, whether that's a job opportunity, whether that's a friendship, a relationship, any sort of engagement with another human being. So I think trust your gut is a relative piece of advice. It might work for some, it might not work for others. And I think sometimes your gut could lie to you. I used to have this conversation a lot in the past years that sometimes my gut is like, I'm combating my gut. And I didn't like that feeling. I got overwhelmed. And I felt a sense of like my gut's trying to tell me something, but my logical senses are trying to tell me something otherwise. And at the end of the day, you're the only one responsible for your decisions. So it sucks that sometimes in hindsight, everyone's the smartest person, right? Because after something happens, if it goes the right way, we're the smartest person. And if it goes the wrong way, we're like, I knew I shouldn't have done that. So in this case, trust your gut to me is a neutral piece of advice. It will work for some, it won't work for others. And I think my main point here is to have a very, very deep self-awareness. And this takes a lot of time, possibly years, to actually develop because you need to be surrounded by so much information. And in this case, maybe season your gut to actually start performing a lot better. Just like kind of what Jorge said, you go through a lot of experiences in life. Maybe that feeling is, that byproduct is your gut. So yeah, I sit on the fence. I'm not such a fan of it, but I'm also not a hater as much, but something to think about. But there's your hot minute. Shout out to Antares for that. Obviously, it's not a minute, but short. There you guys have it. I'll see you guys in the next one.